Hey everyone, this is Tim McDonald coming to you for another T-Chat preview. I am with Jason from Aperio, who's going to be our guest this week. We are talking about a topic that many of us probably have heard of or maybe haven't, and that's what we're going to kind of dive into. But before we do that, let's just find out a little bit about our guest for the T-Chat radio show this Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and also the Twitter chat moderator on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Jason, welcome. How are you today?
Hey Tim, I'm great. It's let's see, what do we have here? It's 6:50 in San Francisco time, so just waking up, all good, but yeah, good to be here.
Well, I'm on the East Coast time, and I'm still waking up with my second cup of coffee, so I appreciate you getting up so early today.
Got the big coffee cup, we're ready to go.
So tell us a little bit about you and what Apero does.
Yeah, so my background is long time in the HR and workforce technology space. So spent 8 years with a company called Ceridian Corporation, spent the next 8 years with a company called PeopleSoft, which many people have heard of, various roles there. Spent the last 8 years leading a company that I founded with my co-founder Heidi Spierge called Knowledge Infusion. And we were acquired by Aperio at the end of October of 2012 and have really spent the last 6 months helping build within Aperio the world's largest human capital management cloud technology consultancy. So our goal is, how do we help organizations reimagine business leveraging cloud and software as a service? I know today's topic is humans as a service, which is really interesting, but leveraging software as a service, and this whole concept of the shift from the buy economy to the subscription economy is the key to this whole as a service model. So excited to take part in both the radio show and the chat and talk about how that plays.
Yeah, so if you could, as somebody who's not been in this industry and this world for too long of my life, I've heard of the term, software as a service. I've never really heard of human as a service. So is that a new term, or what exactly should I take away when I hear that phrase?
Well, I think the most important thing to take away is that organizations want to focus on their core competence. And, just like I don't want to have a room full of servers today and a room full of database administrators, and I have devices that don't need to install CD-ROM, floppy drives, I put things in the cloud today and, deliver things, software as a service. Instead of having it, instead of buying it, I'm subscribing to it. If you take a look at work is that way oftentimes as well. So the traditional model of work is I need to go out and hire 50 people. What do? I look for 50 bodies. But really those 50 bodies are probably performing 250 tasks. And do I really need all 50 to do that? Or could I look at the tasks and break them down and say, one person could do this for a third of their time, a different skill set could do this for a half of their time, and say, what's the best way to leverage people, not necessarily on a full-time equivalent work model like we're used to for the last 200 years, but really say, let's think about objects of work or tasks as work and say, how do we leverage people in a different kind of way that gives them the freedom to float between companies, carry expertise between those companies, and not feel like they're locked into companies? And I'll just add one more thing. Many of the Gen Y and Gen Z type individuals in the world don't see themselves working for a company for 20 or 30 years. My grandfather worked for the same company for 47 years and then handed the reins to my dad, who worked for the same company for 48 years. So 95 years, and of course, no pressure on me. I didn't go that route, but you think about that, and that old model of work and generational work is changing and continues to change right before our eyes.
So I'm really seeing this week's topic as being something that not only relates to HR recruiting professionals, but also any business leaders, any entrepreneurs, and also I think to exactly like you said, the Gen Y and Gen Xers out there that can really start to understand their place in the new workforce moving forward.
The whole model of buying talent versus subscribing to it and leveraging it, on a much more free and open basis is. It's just a huge model of work it's a huge way work will change over the next, not that long, 5 years, and continue on well into the future.
Well, awesome. Well, I am so looking forward to hearing you on the T-Chat radio show on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and then also being our guest moderator on the T-Chat Twitter chat on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So until we go away for that, where can people get in touch and follow up with you?
Yeah, so Twitter, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle's there. That's the best way. And if you want to talk to me individually, I'll share my email address. It's basically javerbook@apereo.com, so feel free to email me there as well. Questions that you might have beforehand, I take texts and Facebook and all the other stuff, but let's just stick with this until I get to know you all a little bit better.
Well, you know us at T-Chat. We all like Twitter. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Jason. We'll look forward to seeing you later this week.
Tim, thanks. Have a great weekend, and can't